Welcome to the Mojo Mundi podcast, where it's all about magic, manifesting, and movement. I'm Ginny Watts, the Dancing Witch, and this episode is titled Coming Home to Body and Earth. In other podcasts, we've talked about the power of moving our bodies to shift our vibration in order to manifest the life we want to live. I have observed firsthand the power of moving and dancing as it changes the vibration of an individual. The shift is not just physical. Dance and movement shift emotional, creative, intellectual, intuitive, and spiritual vibration, as we would expect according to the law of attraction. Moreover, movement can bypass obstructive thinking habits, limiting beliefs, and rigid emotional response patterns that normally hinder our attempts at changing our vibrational baseline. That right there is enough to sell me on the idea. But there is a deeper, more profound benefit for moving our bodies in our spiritual practice. We are co-creators by design. We are meant to expand the universe, creating new diversity, unique complexity, distinctive beauty, novel contrast. We are meant to manifest. In order to do that, however, we have to be in physical form. Think about that for a moment. We have to be in our bodies in order to manifest, because manifesting is, by definition, bringing something into physical existence. And we are here to do that. The way the universe is set up requires the physical world in order to create the physical world. That is a very important message. How much must Creator, Goddess, God, the Tao, love us and the physical world, including our physical bodies? Take a moment and check in with yourself. How was that to hear? I have to say, as I wrote these words, I felt a rush of excited amazement, followed by a wave of instability, and then a gentle sadness. For me, the idea of Creator loving the earth and our bodies calls up a lengthy and ambivalent history, my history and our history. While I know the truth that Creator loves and embraces and actively engages with and through all the physical world, I also know that we humans, as a species, cannot lay claim to that same loving embrace. Women in the majority of cultures around the world, for centuries, even millennia, have been labeled as inferior to men in all realms: physical, intellectual, creative, social, emotional, and spiritual. The argument is consistently based first and foremost on the stereotyped physical differences between man and woman. Each physical difference is used to justify a view of male superiority. Just as women are labeled as inferior in all realms, women experience oppression in all realms. Women are more likely than men to be the victims of repeated physical violence worldwide. According to UNICEF, 49% of the countries in the world have accomplished gender parity in primary education, and that drops to 24% of the countries in upper secondary education. Charles Darwin's theories are a bedrock of modern science, theories that were important to our understanding of the world as we know it, theories that were also shaped by Darwin's sexist and racist beliefs and reflected the misogynistic Victorian mores and class system. Interestingly, there is a consistent thread across the centuries that identifies women as being closer, quote unquote, to nature, closer to Mother Earth or Mother Nature, and this link is used as a justification for the view of women as inferior. In patriarchal, industrialized nations, in particular, nature is meant to be dominated and controlled, and so are women. Nature and women are oppressed because of their physicality. The identification of the physical world as feminine has ultimately elicited hostility rather than reverence. Religious and spiritual practices are reflective and supportive of and interwoven with the global exercise of dishonoring and devaluing the physical world. The tenets of the major recognized religions focus on moving beyond the earth to a spiritual realm that is not of the earth. Sins are seen as a result of the temptations of the body and physical existence, and in the case of sin, both men and women are subject, though in practice the inequality of sinfulness remains. The impact of cultural values and religious doctrines has fallen squarely on the shoulders of women. The fallout of that impact, however, has not spared men. Males make up 40% of those diagnosed with body dysmorphic disorder, a form of obsessive-compulsive disorder where the individual has a debilitating focus on perceived physical flaws. The diagnosis of eating disorders in boys and men is on the rise, with men forming about 30% of those diagnosed with an eating disorder. Body shaming on social media still occurs more for females than males, but the balance may be shifting there as well. The subjugation of nature, rather than a spiritual relationship with nature, has impacted the entirety of modern culture worldwide. But I think that men may have been most deeply affected by defining progress and evolution as a severing of ties with nature. The subtle signs of a rejection of the physical are, of course, harder to recognize, harder to shift. Nowhere is this subtlety more insidious than in spiritual practice. If we accept that we are on earth in physical form to co-create with God, we are also accepting that the all that is permeates everything, is everything, including the physical vibration of cosmic energy. Even as we accept this idea of the sacredness of earth and of our bodies, our practices often continue to be biased toward the non-physical. A significant amount of spiritual practices in general, and manifesting and New Age practices in particular, focus on non-physical approaches to connect with deity and promote manifesting. Mindfulness, cognitive interventions, saying our prayers, imagining, are all thought-focused. Even in the case of saying our prayers, we are using language, which is a cognitive construct designed to label physical reality rather than to experience physical reality. Thoughts and feelings are important, and they commingle with physical sensation. Here's where the subtlety comes in. Our attention in these practices often zeroes in on the non-physical elements of the approach. That exclusion of attention results in a subtle loss of connection to the energy of spirit in physical form. So why is that a problem? For you, it may not be. However, for many spiritual seekers and manifestors, this diminished awareness of the sacred physical results in feelings of isolation from Goddess or God or Allah. We begin to wonder if this whole spiritual thing isn't just a figment of our imagination. We doubt that we can have a real connection with deity. We see the realm of Creator as far off, foreign, and untouchable. The fact that we use terms like real connection and untouchable points to our hunger for an in this moment physical sensation of God within. Mainstream religions have words for this sensation of God within creation, time and space. Immanence in Christianity, non-dualism in Eastern religions, Atman in Hinduism, Shekinah in Judaism. The desire is there. The concept is present in mainstream religions, yet so many of us still feel out of literal touch with our God. When Muslims roll out their prayer rugs, face a physical direction, kneel and bow, these physical practices create the sensation of spirit in physical form. When Christians bow their heads, or Catholics use their rosaries, or Jews rock and sing the sacred syllables of the Torah, they acknowledge the sacred physical, probably without recognizing the deeper significance of their actions. We can go deeper. When we recognize that all we do on earth is spiritual, when we embrace the spiritual energy in every action, working, holding, eating, raging, harvesting, sweating, crying, having sex, walking, harming, smelling, hurting, helping, we turn every part of our day into prayer. When we feel the sensation of our child's hand in our own, we can recognize that in that moment we are feeling the touch of Goddess, of Allah, of the Tao. When we watch the rain pour down the windshield of our car, we are seeing Creator. When we sit with our dying parent, we are witnessing the divine cycle of life. When we hear the cacophony of robins and house wrens outside our apartment window in the morning, we can recognize God is saying, "Hello, wake up, I am here to move with you." When we dance, we can attend to the moving and shifting of energy that harmonizes our vibration with the world around us, experiencing the physical sensation of deity within and all around. I think it is no coincidence that the number of people who identify themselves as Wiccans or pagans is on the rise. It is no wonder that people of all races are drawn to the spiritual teachings of indigenous peoples in the Americas and Africa. These earth-based belief systems offer a different mindset, based in the alive physical presence of spirit in all things. Ultimately, that is where our wisdom leads us if we attend. We come to see that everything is energy, everything is deity, everything is alive, everything has soul. And suddenly, we are immersed in a world where we are in constant, observable, physical connection with our Creator, our Goddess, our Allah, our Tao. As our eyes settle on and our noses alert to the riotous, odoriferous spring flowers, we are invited to recognize the miracle of the physical world before us. If we then consider that the flowers are co-creating with us and Creator, we deepen into the physical proof of the almost unbelievable veracity of our awareness. We are not required to spend every moment in reverie. In fact, it is important that we live our day with no shoulds. My point is that when we allow ourselves to rest in the truth that everything is spiritual and every moment is spiritual practice, noticed or not, we suddenly have access to the affirmation of Deity's tangible presence within us and all around us, whenever we need it or want it. As we allow the sacred physical to come into focus, we release the concept of employing dance and movement as a manipulation or tool to help us shift our energy, to help us manifest or to sense spirit. We understand now that dance and movement are the manifesting. They are the prayer. They are the creation. Dance and movement are cosmic energy. And here is the next turn of the spiral. If all of this is true, then Deity is with us when we co-create harm. Our rage against others is prayer. Our self-hatred is prayer. Goddess does not abandon us. Creator does not separate or withdraw responsibility from the creation. God is not judging. Rather, Deity is present and with us always, taking each step with us on our journey and sitting with us as we experience the subjective realities of our choices and the choices of those around us. Here is true free will. As co-creators, it is up to us to envision the world we want. We take the steps, and Creator never abandons us, nor will God rescue us. How profound! The fact that we are entwined with the all that is means that Deity is immersed in our suffering with us. Goddess watches through us, feels through us the destruction of her children, her body, and holds us in the repose of death until we decide to step forward and co-create again. We have the choice to abide in chaos or to harmonize with joy. Both are part of Creator and part of co-creation. Yet our compass seems to magnetize toward joy. We know this because we feel hunger for love and equanimity even as we are whirlwinds of chaos and destruction. Craving for power over others is a drive, an unscratchable itch, which seeks to be satiated. Why? Because satiation means a relenting. It means peace, the possibility of equanimity, stable ground. Energy is cyclic. Cycles in physical form mean rising and falling, ups and downs, good times and bad, chaos and order, creating and destroying. If we allow the world to be as it is in this moment, without judging God on how they're doing, then we can connect with our capital S selves and follow our hearts to the love that is Deity. Along the way, we will be part of the contrast. We are experimenting, finding our place in the weave that is physical reality. It is so complex. Sometimes we find our way by trial and error. With practice, and once connected to the universal laws, we begin to feel our way, to experience our part, to connect with the whole that is greater than all of us individually. It is hard not to fear pain. It is difficult to claim our mistakes, our own chaos. Hard to come to terms with the chaos of others that catches us unawares and vulnerable. Particularly in these hard times, we can return to our sacred bodies and to our sacred earth. Dancing and moving our bodies dissipates the chaos. Earth grounds us. Grounded, we can be present to the moment. We can look for the miraculous in the mundane. In the cycle of plants, the seasons, the day and night, the moon and sun, in living and dying of animals and mountains, we are reminded that coming apart is the precursor to new creativity. We can listen to stillness, knowing that this too shall pass. We can rest until the inspiration arises again, and we step into the now of something new. This process is our purpose, and we are sustained in the process by compassion. Compassion for ourselves, compassion for the other. We are all a part of the whole, the beautiful, complex symphony of the all, the interweaving dance of the cosmos. We embody the complexity and beauty of creation. Without our embodiment, our physical presence, and our physical evolving world, there would be no creation at all. If you struggle to bridge the gap between an intellectual spiritual practice and an embodied spiritual path, you are not alone. I am happy to connect with you to support you as you explore stepping back into the sacred wisdom of the body and the earth. Connect with me via my website or email, or on Facebook at Caravan of Dreams MT. Our music is used by permission of the artist, Sean Phoenix. Thank you, Sean. And thank you to Bozeman Public Library for the Workbench Sound Studio located in beautiful downtown Bozeman, Montana. If you would like to learn more about allowing and how to find your unique style of manifesting, please visit my website, caravanofdreamsmt.com, or email me at dancingwitchmt@gmail.com. This is Ginny Watts, the Dancing Witch. Till next time, blessed be.